wildfire. And Linda Burney is a respected Indigenous leader as well as the Shadow Minister for Indigenous Australians. Good morning to you, Linda. Thanks so much for being with us. Let's start with last night's court order to postpone this rally. What do you think about that? Does it make it an even more difficult decision for protesters to head out today?
Well, it's not my role to tell people whether or not they should go to the protests this afternoon. And Monique, I just saw the introduction, and there's actually rallies right across Australia, including places like Cairns and Wagga planned for today. So it's much more widespread than just the capital cities. I think the really important thing is to understand why people are frustrated, to understand what the issues are that are going to put people on the streets this afternoon. And fundamentally, we know about George Floyd's death and what that's unleashed across the world, not just Sydney, but across the world. And of course, the issue of Aboriginal deaths in custody. The New South Wales Police took the decision to go and seek an injunction in the Supreme Court. Of course, they have a right to do that. But I do note in a number of other jurisdictions, including South Australia and Western Australia, there is a very different approach. And what we really are urging is people to stay as safe as they can if they intend to take action this afternoon.
Linda, it was just suggested on this program that perhaps authorities, the Prime Minister, should have offered another platform for the Indigenous voice to be heard and to listen to the wide-ranging concerns and what needs to change in this country. It was suggested a round-table meeting, and I guess let's take that further to say that there needed to be a commitment to a course of action. Do you think that if that had have been suggested and actually it was taken part with the Premiers, with the Prime Minister, do you think that that would be sufficient, and therefore perhaps the need for protesters to endanger themselves by going along to protest today might not have been as necessary?
Look, I think, Monique, you've just made a really, really good and important point. We haven't seen a lot of leadership from the Prime Minister on this issue. And when you think about the fact that it was Reconciliation Week last week, and we had that terrible incident with Rio Tinto and the destruction of incredibly important sites and objects in Western Australia, people are furious about that. And it seems to me that there is also ambiguity around the issue of an Indigenous voice to the Parliament. So I think the Prime Minister could have taken much more action and much more decisive action. We are also very much advocating from a Labor perspective that, if people are going to protest, that's their decision. But there are many ways that you can deal with the issues in front of us. And part of that is dialogue with friends, with family, with work colleagues, and with the broader community. And certainly that's something that I've been doing for 40 years and will continue to do with my Labor colleagues.
Well, we're hoping that this really is the change that is needed. This time is Linda Burney. We appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Monique.
Here's Matt.
Well, when we went to